Hey, what is going on the YouTube? This is Robert, and today I'm bringing to the full drop list for this week, which is week 6 of the fall winter season. And yeah, there isn't really much to say. Finally, I'm covering a drop list, so let's get straight into it. And yeah, let's go. Okay, so yeah, obviously it's been a couple days yet again, but we're finally covering like a drop list for once. I've thrown up all the Halloween stuff that I have currently. I might get some more stuff, but I've done my best to try and like cover things up. It's scuffed, I know, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, let's just get into the drop list for this week. Obviously, there's probably more that will be added. As always, we always see it say sort of things like full drop list, and then a day or two later, or even a couple of hours later, we see, you know, updates or also included this week. So yeah, we're just going to get straight into this, and yeah, there isn't really much else to say. In the end, to be honest, I'm just the same. So it's so boring. It's so boring to go over. So I'm not even going to bother. But yeah, we'll just get straight into this and be as energetic as possible for this week. And then tomorrow, hopefully, I'll go over the Palace winter range, which I should have done yesterday. But I spent a chunk of it in bed, so I'm so yeah, the first item for this week is going to be the 12 colour water colour set. I hope that this isn't like an expensive price, but at the same time, I feel like Supreme being Supreme, they might just see like a standard retail and then be like, our retail. So yeah, but I do like it. I think it's a cool idea that they've gone ahead with it. We then have the micro down half zip hooded pullover. To be honest, the 3 colorways that don't have a design to them, I think they're okay. You know, you've got like a black, tan, beige tone and a green. I am a sucker for green, but it's a bit too bright for my liking. However, with the sort of more so paisley look that they're going for, the blue and red, you can't really go wrong. My personal favourite is going to be the blue colourway, just because it stands out so much more and it just looks better. It does. There's no denying, at the end of the day it does. So yeah, following on from that, we have the Field Gear lightweight balaclava. Personally, it's probably going to be the piece that I would go for this week, just for myself. That's just how I feel. Colorways across the board I think are all great. The one that I'm not really a massive fan of is just orange and maybe the white, just because of the pure fact of like stains and things just show out a bit more. But in the cases of like use, say you're in an area that is very like full of snow or it's snowing, it's very much like more so a better piece for that like type of weather. And the same for the camouflage, you know, in its given environment, it wins, you know, it really does. For me, see, it's difficult because I would say the black colorway or the navy / dark blue sort of tone, but at the same time I'm then like looking at the white and I'd be like, well, actually the white colorway is not that bad. I think for the font, the black and the blue, it leaves a better impression on. It's not so legible on the camo. Orange is better. White, it does stand out quite decently. I'm not going to be tempted by white. I will be tempted by white in the end. That's going to be the problem. We then have the boiled wool S Logo 6 panel. Again, a lot of clean colorways in the end. I don't know how I feel about like this Volt or neon green. They'll probably call it colorway. But other than that, I think that all of them are pretty solid. And typically, S Logos, whether it's on the drop or a week, maybe even just a couple of days after the drop, they do just end up selling out. So yeah, why do I look so short? Maybe I should put my chair up. But yeah, they do just end up selling out at the end of the day. They do, because they're S logos, and it's when they don't go too over the top or too crazy, that's when people really like it in the end. So yeah, we then have the property label short sleeve top. Yeah, it's not my favourite, I'll be honest. They've recently had this trend, which I hope they stop next season, of these tiny labels or these tiny tags or these small little graphics, like the most minute graphic in the world, and they put it on a top which has like a 48 to like a 72 retail, dependent on, you know, a couple of different aspects to it. And it's like, really? Like, really? Because it takes people a moment where they have to like readjust their eyes and look in and do like a Randall from Monsters Inc. and like really like squint and look closely at what's going on. But you know, the colorways are okay, but it's just what's included just isn't my favourite. We then have the rhinestone shadow hooded sweatshirt, hoodie. Pine green sort of tone is really my favourite, but to be honest, I despise like rhinestone by this point in time. It's just not my favourite. I've seen what's happened to people in the past when they've bought pieces like this, and you know, it's just not my favourite. It really isn't. We then have the Ventile camp cap. It's clean and simple in the end. Lots of nice colourways. I don't know how I feel about like the mustard yellow tone, but yeah. We then have the multicolour faux fur bomber jacket, which is probably going to be an expensive piece, but at the same time, pieces like this typically, over a duration of time, they do tend to go up in price, but that being said, they typically have a nice spell out across the back for it. It's not too common that ones without spell outs end up doing well, but it could have like a low amount of stock in specific sizes, so as of that, it could happen. What is going on with this little section of like green that they've decided to throw in? Just as you do, I suppose. But it is a cool piece, but yeah, I prefer just to go for a balaclava. So we then have the property label beanie. Works so much better than the top. Colorways and everything translates so much better onto a beanie than the top. So yeah, we have the micro down pant. It's plain and simple. At the end of the day, it matches the pullover. So yeah, you can't really go wrong at the end of the day if you do want to go matching. It's available. We then have the washed half zip pullover. Typically, to be honest, I'm a fan of their half zip pullovers or even their quarter zips. It's just the case that the retail is sometimes just above what I would like to pay, which is why a lot of the older releases are a lot easier to pick up because they're a lot lower by this point in time, because people aren't really huge fans and pullovers don't really tend to hold their value after like a long duration, so it's just easier to grab one at that point. We then have, not really my favourite, it does look cool, but it's not my favourite, being the leather blazer and the leather 5-pocket jean. I just don't think that leather jeans are a great idea. Blazer I think is clean and simple, but I'm just not a fan of the jean. We then have the contrast stitch button up, which is simple. At the end of the day, it's clean, but it's not really for me. Same applies to the contrast stitch beanie. In green and maybe the purple, it grabs my eye, but not really much past that. To finish off, we have the split soccer jersey as well as the shorts, and then we have the iridescent shirt. Soccer jersey, it's got like a West Ham colour going on with one of the kits, but overall it's I wish they'd do like a really like well designed one. You know, Palace did one. Supreme, you could do the same. Just find an old football kit that had a really good design and a really strong following. People would go crazy for it. They really would. But you keep giving us things like this, and it's just, yeah. The iridescent shirt isn't terrible, but it's not my favourite piece. So yeah, that is pretty much going to cover this week. As per norm, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below, what you're going to be going for, whether or not your order from last week or the week before has arrived in the end, because I've seen and heard that a lot of people haven't had orders from either last week or even the week before that, and some even the week before that. So I don't really know where the delays are coming from, but it's just very unfortunate that people haven't received their orders yet. But I hope that everyone does at some point in time. But yeah, that is going to cover this video. Like I said, tomorrow we'll be going over the Palace range. I tried my best with the background. I did. It's just that in comparison to like where I had my setup before, you could see all of the webbing and things a lot easier. And I mean, it sort of works there. Maybe I should have covered the whole couch, but that'd be a real pain to take it off. I'll be honest, I lost my mind a time or two with it already. But yeah, anyway, that's it from me. I hope that you have a good rest of your day. I hope that everyone is staying safe and healthy. Otherwise, just stay in bed for a little bit and take care of yourself. But yeah, that's it from me. Like I said, I hope that you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.